Hallo zusammen! I've already talked and analyzed Amerika and Du hast, but obviously there are many more interesting Rammstein songs to talk about. One of them surely is Engel, another early track by probably the most successful German band with German lyrics internationally. Let's find out what that's about. Rhyme. If you have two screens, put this video on one screen and the music video on the other screen. That way you can easily listen to the song and jump to the respective parts I'm talking about while watching this video on the other screen. Sehnsucht, longing in 1997 that they really got some sort of bigger media coverage in terms of airplay and the like, both nationally and internationally. Back around 1997, MTV and other TV channels wouldn't show the music video to Engel for quite a while though, mostly because of the imagery featuring zombie-like kids in cages, naked skin and so on. Of course, Rammstein protested against that decision, and as far as I recall, the video was played more often in later years. And yes, the song was even played quite regularly on German mainstream radio stations in those days. I say that because most mainstream radio stations in Germany rarely ever play anything rock related these days, let alone metal music. I'm not too sure about this, but that might be a difference to some US radio stations or radio stations in other countries today. To me, this Rammstein track and single in particular seems to have something about it that makes it especially appealing and listenable, even to people that aren't really into rock or pure metalheads in the first place. As it's usual for the sextet, Engel was composed by the whole band, while the lyrics were written by singer Till Lindemann. The first interesting thing about the title from a linguistic perspective is that it can mean both one angel and multiple angels. It's either der Engel, singular, or die Engel, plural, angel. I find that it usually gets translated to angel in English, but judging from the song's actual lyrics, it might as well mean angels. The song itself starts with what is very typical for many Rammstein songs when you think about it. A simple and recurring lead melody that is easily recognizable. Someone is whistling an anticlimactic melody, which leads into an iconic and also prototypical drum beat, keeping a more or less steady pounding groove with a recurring melody line on top of the overall melodies and harmonics. These features were especially typical for the early Rammstein sound in the late 90s and early 2000s. It wasn't until their 2004 album Reise when their sound and structures opened up a bit more and changed quite a bit while still featuring old trademarks. When you think about it, the whistling in the song basically works similar to a jingle in ads and TV spots. You instantly recognize it and go, oh yeah, it's that song by Rammstein, it's Engel. You can also compare it to Du hast of the same album in those terms. You'll see similarities in the architecture and structure of that song as well. Alright, so let's talk about the first verse. Wer zu Lebzeit gut auf Erden, wird nach dem Tod ein Engel werden. Den Blick gen Himmel fragst du dann, warum man sie nicht sehen kann. Those who have behaved well in their earthly lifetime will become an angel after death. Then, looking up to the sky, you ask why one can't see them. As you guys can see though, what a transition, haha. It's not too easy to translate some of these lines as cohesive and poetic. Especially the first line sounds quite old and lyrical with a word like Lebzeit, which wouldn't be used in today's German. We'd rather say Lebenszeit, die Lebenszeit, the lifetime or lifespan. The line surely reminds Germans of old poetry or lyrical writing by the likes of Goethe or Schiller. Germans wouldn't phrase it this way in daily German nowadays, and that fact alone helps the lyrics to stand out even more. Another reason Till might have expressed it this way is the rhyme scheme. Here we have rhyming couples. Erden rhymes with werden. Dann rhymes with kann. You probably wouldn't get that effect when phrasing it a bit more ordinary or standard. For instance, like, wer im Leben gut auf der Erde war. I mean, that would be a more modern way of saying that, a more accurate way in today's standards, so to speak, but it still sounds quite clumsy, I gotta admit that. The whole first half of the verse reminds of something you'd hear in church, or you'd read in religious texts. Better behave well in your lifetime and don't do any harm. Got it? The second half of the verse actually marks a shift in perspective though. You look up into the sky and wonder why we human beings can't see any angels though. On a deeper level, is this promise true then? Like, do angels even exist at all? All in all, even though you don't realize this at first glance, this song features some shifts in perspective, which I really like. And this not only happens lyrically, but also sonically. After every verse and before every chorus, you'll hear a distinct part of the song that really stands out: singing children. They resemble the angel's perspective, which also correlates with the popular idea of angels being children-like creatures. The children's light voices express some sort of innocence, and they also function as a major tonal contrast to Till's deep, roaring voice. They sing. Erst wenn die Wolken schlafen gehen, kann man uns am Himmel sehen. Wir haben Angst und sind allein. Only once the clouds fall asleep, you can see us in the sky. We are afraid and so alone. In a way, you could also call this the chorus of the song, even though it only sounds like a chorus once Till completes this text with the fourth line. Doesn't make that much of a difference either way. Here, the angels could or seem to be talking to that person who is questioning angels and why you can see them in the sky in the first verse. It's almost as if the stars might be the angels themselves, because you can only see them at night and behind the clouds. Or it simply means angels hide behind clouds, and when the clouds vanish, you have a chance to spot them. Up until this point of the song, I personally prefer the first variant though, also because of the schlafen gehen, to go to sleep or to fall asleep, which implies it's night when angels become visible, for instance as stars in the sky. Till, respectively the lyrical I, which is a difference people should make when they read or listen to lyrics and texts in general, completes the four-line structure by adding the fourth and, in a way, concluding line. Concluding because it works as an expression of a final opinion the questioning person has conceived by now. You could say, Gott weiß, ich will kein Engel sein. God knows I don't want to be an angel. It seems as if the person has listened to what the angels had to say about their life or fate, and that's also the reason why that person doesn't want to be, or in a broader sense, become an angel. Now, interestingly enough, this also comes full circle regarding the music video, which takes place in a wild, dark, gothic-like club with caged kids, or respectively angels, lots of naked skin, erotic scenes, alcohol, and basically referring to some of the 7 deadly sins and coming back to religion, ideologies, perspectives and beliefs. Honestly, that's what I really like about Rammstein's music videos. They might seem quite cool yet random and strange at first glance, but there's a lot more to them when you actually see connections to the lyrical side of Rammstein's songs. The same can easily be said about Till's lyrics. They seem to be quite simple and direct at times, but they can be quite ambiguous and layered as well. The second verse kicks in at around 140. Sie leben hinterm Sonnenschein, getrennt von uns, unendlich weit. Sie müssen sich an Sterne krallen, damit sie nicht vom Himmel fallen. They live beyond the sunshine, separated from us, endlessly far. They have to dig their fingers into stars, so that they won't fall from the sky. Now we learn that they aren't the stars themselves. They rather live further away and are even less visible than we thought. Yeah, they even struggle to stay up there in the sky, which might also lead back to the imagery of the music video. The kids or angels in the cages might be fallen angels, because they fell from the stars. Later in the song, the whistled melody returns and works as a trademark sound element once again. A funny anecdote regarding the video, by the way: Till Lindemann, drummer Christoph Schneider and keyboard player Flake can be seen in the audience, and that's why it's guitarist Richard Z. Kruspe and Oliver Riedel, the bass player, who can be seen singing, and guitarist Paul Landers plays the drums. So, which Rammstein songs would you like to see me analyze next? And if you thoroughly enjoyed this video, please like it and share it with other people, because honestly, that's the most helpful promotion for any YouTuber. So big thanks for doing that in advance. Find links to my social media and support pages, Patreon, PayPal, etc. in the video description. Thanks for checking those out and thanks for watching. I'm your Vlog Dave, tschüss und bis zum nächsten Mal.